Hi Jerry, hope you're gonna have a great time in Santa Barbara. This is your video lesson for today, for this week. I'll go through 2 big points, and then like as usual, if you want to send me over some videos to take a look at and give my 2 cents. So cool, so the first thing is, I think we're gonna focus on a little bit of rhythm and sharpening up your rhythm over the next few lessons. That way you have an easier time like maybe picking out strum patterns, making sure your timing is all nice and solid. So cool. So one exercise I like to do is displacing the strum on an 8th note pattern. So here's how it kind of works. I've drawn up this kind of chart right here, and I'll kind of explain it. So what we have here is just 4/4. It's chord time going 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and what we're going to do is we're going to displace on what beat or offbeat we're putting the 8th note strum on. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to do just a steady straight 8th note with the strum, with a muted strum. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and ideally you want to do this with a metronome, so that way you know your timing is all correct. I'm going to use my internal metronome because I'm currently using the device I have on my metronome on right now. So we'll go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4, and you're going to count with this. Don't just go by feel. Even though I do go by feel a lot of times, I've practiced this so much that I kind of do it unconsciously now. And then you can do a chord with this. So you can take like maybe that B minor chord from The Thrill Is Gone and go 1, 2, 3, and 4, 2 and 3 and 4 with the metronome, nice and steady. 3 and 4, 1, 2, 3 and 4. And then you're going to go to number 1 in the diagram. If I pull that up over here on my end, so I can, okay, so we're talking about the same thing. 8th note strum. Right, so the first one, the chord doesn't matter. You can do whatever chord you want. That's just arbitrary up there, that D7. Don't worry about that. You just play a B minor chord, or E minor, or whatever you want to play. Pattern 1 is just doing what I just did, where I go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4, and make sure to do this down, up, down, up, down, up patterns. Number 2 is just with muted strums, so 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4. And I think if you do each bar 4 times, it kind of gives you a sense of like, okay, I can do this rhythm consistently. You can set a timer, do it for 30 seconds or something like that for a minute, see how long you can keep that pattern going. Pattern number 3 is when we start kind of getting fingers on us. So we're going to go to that B minor chord, right? And I'm going to go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. See, I'm just lifting pressure on and off the bar, right? So when I do that, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So I'm not doing anything fancy. I'm just lifting pressure off the bar, so that way the only thing that rings out is the 1. 1 and 2, and on the end of 1 I'm silent. We're just doing a muted strum, I should say. Not silent, doing a muted strum. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Then I'm going to go, is on here pattern 4. I've also written out here, we're slowly moving displacement down. So now I'm going to start off with just muted strums. 1 and 2 and 3 and go, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. And notice on the ands, I'm going up. So I'm not doing all downstrokes. I just finished teaching a U2 song where he does all downstrokes for the 8th note. Don't worry about that right now. So down, up. On the ands, you're going to be doing an up strum. On the numbers, you're going to be doing a down strum. If I move to number 5 right here, it's going to be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And go to the next one on the and of 2. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3. Making making sure you count the whole time. Counting is super important. If you go just try by feel, you might get off sometimes, so make sure always count while you're doing this exercise. See how far you can go through this. Like maybe every day do like 1 or 2 of them for maybe a few minutes, and you'll be surprised how fast your rhythm improves, and you won't be as speeding up or slowing down or playing on the E of a beat or something like that. So work on that for me. And then next thing is, I saw you send me over The Thrill Is Gone. Sounds really nice. I think what we'll do is we'll kind of like learn the actual, like the lead parts to it. And then also too, for just creativity side of things, B minor pentatonic phrasing. So go through and practice your B minor pentatonic. See if you can try all 5 boxes in B minor pentatonic, right? Oops, I gotta practice it myself. There you go. And what I would like you to do is, go through some of the boxes, or maybe easier than others. I know box 3 or box 4 sometimes are harder to remember. But first thing I want you to do is see if you can do B minor pentatonic only on strings 3 and 1. Start with string 3 first. So if you can start going from, like, say, right? Can you play B minor pentatonic all in 1 string? Start with that first, and you can do different sequences with it. Say if I went 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, right? Right, so do strings 3 and strings 1 with that. Do string 1. And then what we'll end up doing with it, once you have that down, once you can go through strings 3 and string 1, we'll try an exercise of jumping over strings, string skipping. Ooh. There we go. And it kind of gets you out of playing that like linear fashion, playing this up and down a pentatonic scale. So it's really useful for that. And then second thing I want you to do with that are called numerical groupings. So you can pick just different numbers. Like say, for example, a group of 5 and then doing a rest, and then a group of 4. It helps you get away from just playing, this. Which is fine, but it doesn't sound like too much other than just an exercise. So say, for example, I'll base this off of a 3-note sequence, right? And my first group is going to be a group of 5 notes. So 5 things will happen, but I'm going to be playing a 3-note sequence. Example would be this. So on box 1, B minor pentatonic, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I have 3 notes, right? But I'm going to do 5 things. 1, 2, I hit the first note double. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then come back to the last note I hit 5. There's my group of 5 notes. So I'm using the 3-note sequences as like a jumping off point, but what I'm doing is I'm taking the 3-note sequence and making it 5 things happening. Double the first note, 1, 2, 3, 4, and just come back to the last note I hit for number 5, right? Remember, we're only interested in just those 3 notes right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So rather than playing this, I went, and then a rest, or letting the note ring. And then I can do a group of 4 notes for the next sequence. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, so I change things up a little bit, so it's not as expected. Right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's going back and forth between groups of 5s and groups of 4s, and I put rests in between. I can put rests anywhere I want. In the first one, if I want to put a rest in the group of 5 notes, and I can come back. Cool. and then you can do that anywhere in the pentatonic scale. You can make just different combinations. So switching between groups of 5, groups of 4, you can do 6, you can do 3, you can do 7. They're all fair game. But what you want to do before you do it is sit down and go, what do I want to actually do? I'm going to do 5s and I'm going to do 4s, and this is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to triple the first note, or I'm going to double the first note. So go in knowing kind of like what it's going to be before you start just noodling up and down the neck. That way you get more stuff, and then write them down too. That way you'll start getting like a lick book, or you'll start categorizing these things. You'll find ones that you like, you always come back to. And I find if you do it this way, it kind of gets you away from just playing just straight sequences, or gets you out of kind of playing the same lick every single time, which is something that we're trying to push past right now. All right, cool, man. So work on that for me, and then if you want me to look at anything, feel free to send a video over, and I'll be more than happy to take a look. All right, man. I'll see you next time. Bye.